right?
Nothing.
They try to.
JT, what?
Yeah, I'm just letting you know. So if they were about it, why did anything go down in that period?
That's true.
This is all these years. These guys have been talking the same nonsense. I'm just saying that it's more hype than action. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, so a rebuttal is saying it's not that much statistically violence. But at the same time, the FBI has reported that, I believe you said it, that they've infiltrated police departments. And we're seeing a rise of police shooting people of color, beating them, harassing them. I don't think that's a coincidence when you put that together with the FBI report. So they don't have to walk around in hoods and everything anymore. They put on a uniform and do it legally.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. You got someone that's going to enforce laws legally. You got politicians, lobbyists. That's the most damage. Not a group of guys drinking beer with some AK-47s. You're going to have incidents like that, but the real damage is coming from enforcement officers, right? Taking law to their own hands. Mm-hmm. And then also you have politicians that have a separate agenda as to what they believe in a two-tier system.
But JT, wouldn't you think, and when you say that, the police officers that have been, the police academies or the different police places or where have you have been infiltrated, like Lewis said, and they're merely the foot soldiers for those politicians and for those judges. They're doing the dirty work. And so you have an infiltration of a lot of these police departments by, some of these Klansmen, some of these white nationalists all over the country. And we're seeing it playing itself out where brother just got killed in Texas last week, getting killed for no reason, for whatever. And essentially you got the politicians or whatever who are going to ensure that system, that aggression continues to take place. So it's all part of the system, in my opinion. So you can't really say, oh, hey, just because, the number of people that are actually dying is such a small percentage, that's just part of the system, part of the problem, wouldn't you say?
Oh, of course it's part of the problem. That is the system. The system is doing exactly what it's supposed to do, what it was designed to do. I'm just saying in terms of, do you see more of these militia individuals, causing more issues around domestic terrorism and things like that, causing a lot of harm? I'm just saying a lot of those, becomes hype versus action. Obviously, you always have incidents like that'll pop up. I'm just saying I don't think it's a huge wave of people. You have other issues to deal with, like you said, in law enforcement, taking matters into their own hands, becoming judge, jury, executioner in the streets.
Yeah, I was just trying to, right. Yeah, and I was just trying to make a connection that it's all, regardless of what you want to name them, whether it be militia, whether it be Klansmen, they all have this self-imposed right that, their belief system. And I think, it all becomes, part of the main issue. You've got these freaking people, militias, that are taking the laws into their own hands. And I think with Facebook and with social media, you're going to have, these organizations are going to grow in momentum. Yeah. And so I think it's going to be a lot more than what we just say, just the isolated incident. But that's just me.
Because these rallies, they're showing up at these rallies. These militias like Kenosha, they're sending out a message on Facebook or wherever. They're showing up at these rallies, man. It's going to get worse, Sap. It's going to get worse, man.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I've seen those rallies. Those guys are not really about it. The guys sick, overweight, drinking beer, talking shit. That's how I categorize
man, I want y'all to go to, I'm giving pub to something that probably should not get publicity.
Don't even do it. Crump, don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
We're talking
okay.
Signal.
Yeah. Keep it low key.
Keep it low key. Cool. Yeah, what you got to say about it?
I mean, you know what, man? I'm kind of conflicted on this because, I really kind of agree with JT. You got a big bark, but no bite. When I look at these guys, man, they got the flag. I got a question. So I saw, not a question, but I got a statement. I saw, I live in Buckhead, right? So I saw a guy in Buckhead, right? And he had a sign that says, "Vote Trump, stop the bullshit." Right? That's what he said. So I drive with Trump. I say, man, what do you mean by Trump stopping the bullshit? And he was just, oh my god. I mean, he was just dazed, like, man, I just want America. I mean, he was stuttering. I still, bro, calm down. It's cool. Just calm down. It's all good, man. I'm not coming to, you know what I mean. I just saw your flag, and what do you mean? Just explain to me. Stop the bullshit, because we live in a this is how I came in. We live in a Christian community. We got those vulgar words. I have kids. What are you doing saying those words in my community? I'm an American. What are you doing? Fuck them up. Well, man, I'm so sorry about saying those words. And man, America this, America this. I said, so he saw David having a hole that was just, so weak and timid. I'm just like, these guys are here, man, believing an ideology that's not true and have no backbone. He could not state any facts about the bullshit. Tell me the bullshit that you're talking about. Donald Trump stopped the bullshit. Explain that to me. Walk that down to me, because those words are offensive to me. We got kids. We have kids. I'm an American. You're disrespecting what we do by family values by having bullshit, profane language on your flag. He couldn't explain it. So that's why I say it's a bunch of noise, man.
Yeah. So like we
JT, I
said
agree with you on
earlier,
that.
like black women being the heart and soul of the Democratic Party, Trump's number one supporting voting bloc is uneducated white men. That's the biggest block he has to hold on. So I mean, and that's easy to believe. I wouldn't even have to research that if somebody told me that. I believe it right off the top.
Yeah.
Uneducated white men.
Yep.
Even if we take what's being said as a small fraction or a small number of people that talking a lot of shit and not doing anything, I think it's dangerous to believe that or to rely on that, because there are some people out there.
There are some, Luke. I agree with you.
Who will go through with it, and we've seen it in the news. The
church.
It only takes a couple. It doesn't take a
South
lot.
Carolina is going in there and just shooting people. I mean, those people are out there. So I think it's just a small minority is not going to do anything.
It's not true.
That's cool, but when they kill somebody or kill people, mass murders, then what?
Right.
I mean, it's but but Lou, like, to Carmichael's point, for Carmichael, he approached him calmly, but he was already at fear, and that's kind of, let's think about this. Are we going to continue right now with this division that we got going on in our country? When we step out, going to the store in our community or a restaurant, and have that, the people have these conversations, and people are a little cautious, not only with the coronavirus going around, people are cautious with the race.
Yeah,
it's a little, they're careful of what they saying, and they're real apologetic, or they're real. I'm feeling we're getting a little privileged right about now.
You know what? I don't see.
It's what era town you live in too, Chuck.
I see it differently. And y'all are in the South, so you got a better idea maybe. But I see it differently. I see a lot of emboldened folks that's talking smack. You know what I'm saying? And I see that even out here, where I live, which is blue state traditionally. You know what I'm saying? There's folks that's coming out the box. Even if you looked at when Trump got the COVID, which will be our next segment. But when Trump went to the Bethesda the hospital, I can't remember the name of the hospital he went to, Walter Reed National Medical Center.
Yeah.
Bethesda, he had a whole flood of Trump supporters. And I'm like, damn, where the hell these folks been?
That crowd was
Georgia somewhere.
That
Huh?
crowd wasn't
No,
that
it
crowd wasn't
wasn't
even
that big. But
How
if you
big?
know
How
the
big was
state,
that crowd, though, Crump? How big was that
I
crowd?
mean, I don't
hold
even think
up.
it was over
The
100
crowd
people.
wasn't
No,
that
100
big.
people, man.
That's my
100.
point. The crowd wasn't that big, but if you know
Right.
the state of Maryland, if you know the state of Maryland, you do not have that. And that where they were is a very liberal area, very liberal. And so where they were, for you to even to have Trump supporters, period, come out, more than 10 people is surprising in that area.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was a
Trump, they
paid
shipped them
group.
in.
Yeah, it was a paid group
Yeah.
and it
Look,
was
so
organized.
Yeah.
It could have
Yeah,
been.
I wouldn't
We'll
be
never
surprised.
know.
Well,
so I looked at Fox
We-
News. The chairman of the Republican Party in your area, they recruited people to come down. There was a recruitment process for people to come down.
let me tell. I'm not here to buy that one way or the other, because to me that's the same argument they were saying when folks were protesting that these were paid protesters. So
right.
I don't, and I know we know how much that was bullshit. So it's whatever.
Crump,
My whole point. My point is that I wasn't expecting that in Maryland. But I think that even if there's 10 people in each state that decide they want to do harm, that's 500 people that can do harm. You know what I'm saying? And that's a lot. So that's what we got to worry about. And, it is what it is. But let's go on to the next topic. COVID in the White House. Today, we just found out that 34 people connected to the White House in the last week, whether it be there for the gold medal, Gold Star. I think they had the Gold Star family. Trump met with the Gold Star families this past week. And then they have course with the Supreme Court nominee that came to the Rose Garden. We had all of these military leaders. We had all these Republican politicians that were in the Rose Garden. We even had the president of Notre Dame, University of Notre Dame, come, and 34 people related to that event caught the COVID. Now I'm gonna pass this around the horn, man. Is this irresponsibility? What is going on here, man? I started off with you, JT.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little surprised, not more so about Trump, but his inner circle. And the fact that, you're protecting the president by all means. And if he says that you don't wear a mask, that's fine. But at least you screen people coming into whatever area he's in, right? And you don't have people coming in that are not getting tested because you're in this environment, very close quarters. And now you got a situation where it's jumping from one person to the next. And it's easily transmittable through airborne items or particles, whatever you call it. And so to have your inner circle not protect you as the president, I mean, I just can't believe it.
Yeah, I just think it's embarrassing. I mean, you got major folks, Stephen Miller, all these folks up in the White House that come down with it. It's just straight embarrassing. What you think, McLeod?
Hey man, like JT said, it's crazy, man. They gonna let this dude take them to hell, man. It's not even funny anymore. It's like I'm really tired of talking about Trump, but it's like something every freaking day with this dude.
Yeah.
Like, man, can we have the election right today? Get him up out of there. That's what we really need to talk about, this transfer of power.